Hey, what's up? It's Dave here from the Matt and Dave Show, thanking you for listening and reminding you to like, share, and subscribe if you like what you hear. I think you will, but you know, I'm biased.
He's Dave. I'm Matt, and this is the Matt and Dave Show. It's funny how much that song is starting to sound like it's the Matt and Dave Show.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm trying to hit that at the right moment too.
Oh yeah.
It's always better to do these shows on a Sunday after the Bears win. I know we're not a football podcast.
We're not a football, but
it
also
always,
at the same time, big fan of the Bears.
It makes my day a little easier.
No,
So-
it's always good when the Bears win.
Yes. When the Bears win, I'm like, all right, yeah, let's record.
Yeah.
And when they lose, I'm like, yeah, whatever. What do you want to talk about, Dave? What do you want to talk about, Dave?
You live and die by the Bears, and I think that is very Bears
Well,
of you.
I think my energy level does.
That's
I
great.
don't think me, but
I think that's that's so human. Oh gosh, God, you're so in touch with humanity.
all right.
Robot laugh. I am not jealous of your in touch with humanity-ness. Communal laugh.
You know, if you were a robot, it would explain so much.
No way, dude. Dude, if I was a robot, maybe I am a robot. Actually, I don't know if I'm not a robot. But to be fair, nobody does.
That's true. I think there's a movie in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Or is that a movie that's already existed?
Or maybe we're in that movie.
Or maybe we're in the movie now. What if your life was a movie?
Have you ever seen 13th Floor?
It sounds familiar. Who's in it?
Oh, I don't fucking remember.
Oh.
Yeah. My dad watched it one day.
Okay.
And I'm going to spoil 13th Floor. So,
Oh, Jesus.
yeah. No, but I mean, I have to tell you this
No,
story.
I get you. I'm just kidding. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So skip ahead 5 minutes if you don't want to know about this. So I walk in and my dad's watching this movie and he's like, "Oh, dude, this movie." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, all right." I sit down and I watch it for like 15 minutes. He's like, this is a weird one, huh? And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I don't know. It's just complicated." I'm like, "No, dude, no." So they make a simulation of an entire society, and then they go plug into that simulation. But then they find out that in the process of plugging that into that simulation, that they are, in fact, a simulation themselves by...
The simulation has created a simulation?
Yes, they are
wow.
a simulation that created a simulation, and there's people that jump between all three simulations. And he's like, "Have you seen this movie
How does
before?"
that work, man?
Yeah, it's a heady fucking movie.
13th Floor. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah,
'cause
it's interesting. It's a very, I can't say it's particularly well acted, but so the present day, what you would think of you and I, people create a simulation that takes place, I think it's in the 30s or 40s, and that's their recreational thing. They just discovered how to do this. And then, in the process of that, they start to realize that they themselves are a throwback simulation from the people in the future.
Dude, I remember this,
Who's in
cover
it?
of this box
Yeah.
at Blockbuster when I worked there.
Yep.
Fucking Gretchen Mol.
Gretchen Mol, yes.
Remember her from the 90s?
Yeah, I do.
Craig Bierko.
I have no idea.
Vincent D'Onofrio is in it.
Really?
Yep. So is Dennis Haysbert.
Nice.
Mhm.
Nice. I should probably rewatch that.
Yeah, I remember going, man, this looks like every other direct-to-video movie.
It's cool. But I mean, that's a heady fucking plot. My dad was struggling.
1999.
Yeah, he was struggling with that shit. And I'm like, I'd sat down for 15 minutes. I'm like, no, dude, it's this, and this. I'm like, good, I'm out. We're good.
It's got 7 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah.
29% Rotten Tomatoes.
Interesting.
89%
disparity.
of Google users like the movie.
Yeah.
A man awakens to discover a bloody shirt in his house and his boss murdered the night before. Did he do it? Why can't he remember? The 13th Floor is a sci-fi thriller that explores the ominous possibilities of computer-simulated universes where people only believe they are real.
Yeah. It's cool. It's a cool concept. It's a heady fucking concept.
Hey, it was profitable. The
Yeah.
budget was $16 million, and it made $18.56 million at the box office. profitable movie.
I don't know if we call it a $2 million over the budget profitable movie, but anyways. So
I'm sorry. Wait. You spend less than you
but that
bring
doesn't
in.
that doesn't account for marketing.
Okay, but then you were talking about it now. It was obviously on video store shelves. People bought it. People saw it. People liked it. It made $18.56 million. You can't tell me there's not some people out there that went and bought it.
Yes, technically this
I'm
movie
sure
made
it was
a
on
profit,
television.
but there's a reason they didn't make a 14th floor.
Right. Wouldn't it be cool if the sequels went backwards?
Oh, the 12th floor.
Yes.
Yes. Oh.
While we're talking about box office results.
And we're back, by the way. Hi, Spiking thing. Hello, welcome back. Sorry about that.
What?
Wow, we started a show with a spoiler. That's
so unlike you.
It's new territory for me.
For you, yeah, absolutely. You're really anal about the spoiling.
Yeah.
So, for the second week in a row,
Mm-hmm.
I've just found some stuff fascinating here I want to talk about. We don't make a habit of like reporting box office results. Sometimes we do, but for the second week in a row, Halloween was number 1 at the box office.
Which I think is great.
Right? Which is fantastic. Okay, so listen to this. $126.69 million domestically for the for this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Or total. That's the total. The two week mark, $126.69 million domestically, $45.6 million internationally, for a global total of $172.29 million in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But, excuse me.
Ooh. Oh, let it out. Let it out.
Excuse me. But I want to focus on the domestic number, the $126.69 million domestically in 2 weeks. Okay?
Got it.
A Star is Born.
Yes, which you loved.
Which I loved. It was a great movie.
Yes.
It's been number 2 since it was released 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
This is the 4th weekend it was out. Okay. Held on to the number 2 place. It opened number 2 behind Venom.
Yep.
And it
which
stayed
is tough.
it stayed number 2 behind Venom.
Yep.
It stayed number 2 behind Halloween.
Right. Which is consistent, which is good.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's brought in, and I'm only going to go over the domestic numbers. $148.7 million domestically. So only about $22 million more than Halloween in 2 weeks, which is fine because Star is Born has some staying power, obviously.
Yeah, I know.
People are talking about it.
Yeah, still.
Which for me, like, I think in
it's
today's...
better to have a slow burn.
It's better to have that slow burn. I don't think you necessarily need to... I think the big tentpole blockbusters need to open at number 1.
They have to.
They have to.
But for that to open at number 2 and stay at number 2...
For a whole month?
Yeah.
Like, and
that's good.
I don't know what the budget was in that movie, but it couldn't have been more than 50.
Yeah.
I couldn't have been more than that. Maybe.
Yeah.
And it's not a big action movie. And it's not an original movie. It's a remake, but it's it's got some original aspects to it.
Sure.
And the big thing was, can it open up against Venom? Well, yes, it can. I mean,
it's not going to beat it.
Well, but that leads me to what I want to say. So Venom has dropped into the 3rd place. So it was number 1 for 2 weeks in a row.
Yes.
And it's been number 3 for 2 weeks behind Star is Born. Everybody was saying, oh, it's a massive success. It's great. It's fantastic. It's made a lot of money. And it has, to this point, after 4 weeks, has made $508.3 million worldwide.
Yes.
Which is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
That's
right?
that's the lottery buyout.
That's the worldwide in 4 weeks. Now, what I want to point out is in 2 weeks,
yes,
Halloween has made $126.69 million
yes.
in 2 weeks. That's domestically. That means U.S.
Yes.
Okay. Venom has made $187.2 million domestically in 4 weeks. So do the math there. Obviously, the majority of the money is coming from the global markets. $321.1 million internationally for Venom. That's where the majority of the money is coming from. But $187.2 million in 4 weeks. Up against A Star is Born, $148.7 million. Now, I think there's some telling information in those numbers.
I think there is too.
There's not a lot of people who are going to see Venom more than once.
You know what it's telling me?
What is it telling
You're
you?
a big fucking nerd. Quit with the numbers already, dork. I'm sorry.
But you have to look at it and go, that's interesting. Because you hear that Venom is the most successful Sony movie this year.
Absolutely.
And, it beats A Star is Born, and, all of this, is so fantastic, and they succeeded
for a minute, but that's just marketing.
Right, exactly. So
that's just marketing.
So my question is, if you look at all those numbers, how successful was Venom? Internationally.
Reasonably, it's all in how you spin it.
Right, sure.
I got a friend of mine who plays hockey games a lot on the PlayStation. He a big Lightning fan.
Okay.
So about 10 years ago, I'm like, hey, I'll play hockey. And I did not expect to win. So I picked Team Kazakhstan.
Okay.
Which is an option. It was like NHL 11 or something. Like, this is a while ago.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, Team Kazakhstan. He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. I beat this dude with Team Kazakhstan.
Right.
And I have never played him in a video game of hockey again.
Right.
Because I get to hold over his head that in the lone match that we played, I beat him with Team Kazakhstan. And I think that's what Venom is doing with the... like, we were number one for like 10 seconds, and we never got a rematch, and everything was fun.
Well, they were number one for 2 weeks, and that's saying something.
Yeah,
but that's saying something.
Yeah.
But I still think if you look at those numbers, I mean, we're talking, 60 million difference between those two movies. Halloween being one. I mean, even look at Star is Born and Venom. People were saying, oh, Venom just blew Star is Born out of the water. Well, maybe it did the first weekend, but I'll tell you what, those guys who took their girlfriends to see Venom that first weekend went to see Star is Born as well.
Well, here's the thing. Blowing A Star is Born out of the water is what Venom is supposed to do.
Sure.
And you didn't blow it out of the water by that much.
Right.
Like, if you build a big gun.
Right.
And it sinks the catamaran, it's what it's supposed to do, but you're supposed to do it way better than what you actually did.
It's true.
That's the point. Like,
right.
If that movie didn't debut at number one, it is deemed a failure.
True. That's very true.
A absolute unmitigated failure.
But that's my point. Can we say that it is a failure because it has only grossed $187 million domestically, not internationally, domestically?
I wouldn't call it a failure. And I'll tell you why. I think it wasn't a failure because I think it had a reasonable buzz around people that were like actively disagreeing with critics on it, which is not something you see a lot of. People
you see a lot of that these days.
Well,
everybody disagrees with the critics.
Right, but like to the point where it made sense. Like, not like, oh my God, like Transformers is good, you're stuffy. No, Transformers is bad. Okay.
But that's bad all around. Like, everybody knows that's bad.
Yeah. Like, people still see it, but it's bad. But they were like, no, this isn't like, I mean, it's not an amazing movie, but it's an okay, like, me watching Rampage.
Okay.
Like, I think it had that Rampage-esque type
Venom?
of thing.
Where it wasn't great, but it was something to watch?
Yeah, it was good. Like, it was niche-y enough to where you're okay, it tipped its hat enough to the appropriate places. Like, it checked enough boxes.
Right.
It checked enough boxes.
It's hard for me to say what it was and wasn't because I didn't see it.
Same.
And neither did you.
Yeah.
But
based on, like, based on me reading taking in all the things that I've seen about it, like seeing it come out, hearing about how bad it was initially, and then hearing the critics savage it, and then seeing people going like, look, dude, like, is it an amazing movie? No, but take the fucking stick out of your ass for 10 seconds and appreciate there's some really cool parts to this movie and go with it.
And it just goes to show like what marketing and advertising and, PR does for a movie, because there was the story to tell. There's a story about a movie, and I think if you can tell a better story about your movie than the story that your movie tells, you can also be successful. Because I want to say that the story about the movie, like you just said, the critics hated it. The critics, first of all, we all hated it when we saw the trailer. Then the critics saw it and said, oh, it's awful. And then people went to see it and say, well, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And then it was number one. And then there was the drama or controversy with the Lady Gaga fans and the Venom fans. And then it was Sony's number one movie. And then they were talking about sequels and stuff that was cut out of the movie and speculation on what the sequel is going to be about and when can Tom Holland be a part of this and yada 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 yada. Meanwhile, A Star is Born is like a great movie.
It's a solid
movie.
It's that tortoise just chugging through.
Just chugging through. And really,
cashing in that money.
And that was my point of this is you see all that and you think, wow, Venom is just super successful. And then you look at the bottom line, you look at the numbers, and well, it's really It is,
Yes.
but it's not
Not,
as much
no.
as what they're selling you. And my question for you, David,
Oh, yes, please.
who are they trying to sell?
What do you mean?
Who are they trying to convince that the movie's successful? Us?
The
movie going public?
The movie going public.
Because obviously the people in charge, the big bosses, they only care about the dollars.
Right.
So,
But at the same time, like, you have to convince the movie going public that a movie is successful if you want to put out a sequel to it. Because if you allow the stink of a shitty movie with the sequel, no one's going to come see the sequel. So if you want to go through with a sequel, you have to do an ad campaign to, like, bump up the fact that people enjoyed this movie.
right.
Like, oh yeah, no, I really like,
Which makes me wonder how many people didn't enjoy this movie.
I don't know. I feel like I really need to see this movie
Right.
to continue talking about this with some authoritative stance on it.
But I can say that I think that it actually was better than advertised because of my social media feed.
Yeah.
And the people that I'll stop just shy of saying respect.
Wow.
But the people who I know who also have opinions on movies.
People that you know that also have opinions. So everybody
Not everybody.
you know has an opinion.
You know who I'm talking about, though.
I know who you're talking.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking.
The people, not just the person, but the people that I'm talking about.
The people that you're.
And they all said that it was, it wasn't great, but it was fun.
Oh god.
Like it had. So I can believe,
like
what,
me and Rampage. That
Right.
wasn't great, but it was fun.
Right, exactly. I don't know. Do we hold comic book movies up to a higher standard? I don't know. That's something else to talk
No.
about. But it's interesting that that social media comes into play here, because the other thing that we need to talk about is the reasons why. Last week we talked about
Oh yes.
the Marvel
Yes.
series on Netflix being canceled.
Yes.
And there's still kind of questions. People are wondering,
Why?
Daredevil was super successful. Is that going to be canceled? We talked about that
Right.
last week.
Yep.
But people are saying, why? Why was Luke Cage canceled? We understand Iron Fist, even though it got better and people were happier about it.
Yeah.
But Marvel, too. And Netflix, I don't know if we touched on this, but Netflix does not release its numbers.
Does not. We've talked about this before.
And people get so frustrated at Netflix for this. Yeah. And by people, I mean, like, the media. Like, they're so mad because they want to say, oh, this series is successful because this many people watched it.
Or not successful.
Because not this many people are watching it. And I like to think that Netflix is looking at something more than that.
Yes.
And it turns out they might be. But I don't know if it's the right thing they're looking at.
I don't. Well,
We need
Go
to
ahead.
say what it is they're looking
Yeah,
at first
go
before
ahead.
you can just start to comment on it.
Yes.
I see where you're going with this.
Yes.
You
yes.
have to remember sometimes that it's not just you and I talking.
Yeah, I know.
Even though
I
it's just
know.
you and I
That's
talking.
why I didn't actually formulate
I know.
the word.
I know. Well, I mean, I can always set it up for you. You can just say what it is.
Yeah.
That's fine too.
So they were looking at. You're so meta at times, and it's adorable. So we saw an article that they were talking about the social media impact of these shows, and which is really how the outside world. It's the only measure you really have of Netflix shows is the actual social media impact. Their mentions, they're talked about. It's like how often they're referenced within an X amount of period. Like all of that makes an indelible, measurable mark on the internet, which you and I as a layperson and the people at home can totally tap into with the proper tools.
And if you're paying attention this weekend, you could probably guess what the most popular thing on Netflix is. It's the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh yeah, that's
Or I think it's just the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I don't know if there's a teenage witch attached to
Yeah,
that.
I don't know actually. I really
But I
don't
think
know.
it's the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina,
Yeah.
which is the new take on Sabrina the Teenage Witch,
Yep.
which is a spinoff of Archie, which is from the executive producers of Riverdale. They're not connected really, but it's kind of more of that darker adult themed Sabrina the
Yes,
Teenage
yes.
Witch. And I haven't watched it, but everybody's talking about it.
Yep.
Everybody, like I've seen like things on social media from the original cast of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, like wishing well to all of the current
the
cast
new
members.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
all kinds of
Wait,
like
they made it there was a different one?
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh yeah, I did know that.
From-
You're
with
right.
Melissa
You're
Joan
right.
Hart
Yeah,
from, like, the
Melissa
late
Joan Hart.
90s.
Yeah, I remember.
Come on, man,
that. I remember
Clarissa,
that.
get with
Yeah,
it.
I do.
She was Clarissa and Sabrina.
I got that. Sorry, I automatically associate her with Clarissa.
Sure.
But I forget that Sabrina exists. And the only reason that I remember it is because I see that cat gif,
Yeah.
the evil laugh cat gif, like that comes up all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Everybody loves it. What was that dude's name?
That was Salem.
Salem. Thank you. Yeah, Salem the cat. Yeah, and I was like, oh wait, there was one. Like again, I remembered the GIF, and that's how I remembered that show
Because
existed.
you like the snarky, sarcastic talking cat.
Yes. Well, no, I just use it a lot when I communicate with other people.
Of course you do.
Evil laugh.
Maniacal
Evil
laugh. Maniacal laugh. That's like one of the only things I can quote from the new Muppet movie.
Yeah.
Maniacal laugh.
That's one of the only things worth quoting in that Muppet movie.
No, that's a good movie. You didn't like that one?
No.
Have we talked about that before?
We've talked about it.
Wow.
It's just
We can talk about that later time.
I'll just make some noises about disappointing.
Yes, we
Oh, by the way,
need to talk about that.
no, we're not going to talk about. We need to talk about that.
Okay.
You can take that in your hand,
Okay.
and I want you to know something. You now own that. That is yours.
Oh, thanks.
I know you're a big fan.
I am and he just passed away.
Yeah, I know.
I'm holding a California raisin in my hand.
Yes.
Yes, California raisins. I'm a big fan of the Will Vinton Christmas special.
Yep. The California Raisins.
And he was
one.
Will Vinton was the claymation animator who did all the claymation, the California Raisin commercials. He did what was the Einstein one?
The Einstein. one.
Yeah. The Mark Twain. I'm not Einstein. Mark Twain.
Oh yeah.
They look
My
similar.
favorite fucking like disturbing kids movie ever. The Adventures of Mark Twain.
Yeah, it's really creepy.
Yeah, with God, who was the pigeon guy in Shawshank Redemption? He's the one that voiced Mark Twain in that.
Oh, was he really?
Uh-huh.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
And he was a crow, wasn't a pigeon.
Well, whatever. It doesn't fucking
But I
matter.
know what you mean. The bird guy.
The bird
guy.
I should have been less specific. But so I had I had a model figure of the actual claymation California Raisin, and me being a big fan of such, and Matt being an even bigger fan.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
I was going to give him my my California Raisin claymation figure.
You know, I actually think I had this one when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't have it anymore.
Well, yeah, my mom is a bit of a pack rat.
But now I do.
So now you do again.
Thanks to you, Dave.
Yeah, you're very, very welcome.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
saw that. I was like, oh, I know who I need to give that to.
Yeah, that's cool. I love it. And it's a shame we didn't talk about it because not many people know who Will Vinton is.
Yeah.
And not many people know who know the Claymation Christmas special. He also did an Easter special and a Halloween special.
Well, that I didn't even know.
Yeah. And it's all on the same. The DVD that I have has all three of them: Easter, Halloween, and Christmas. Yes, those are the three that he did. They're very interesting. But but everybody knows the California Raisins, and if you're curious, there's some trivia for you.
Yeah.
Will Vinton is the guy who did the California Raisins. I don't know if he was the one that created the California Raisins.
I have no idea.
But he did all of the commercials.
Yeah.
So the claymation stuff.
That's interesting. But that's like, I don't want to say it's one of the first instances, but like it's a big instance of like a commercial having because that was just a commercial.
It was. Yeah.
But like had crossover appeal to the point where they just it was like just a cultural thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the best way I could describe it is how the caveman thing for Geico became like its own show for 10 seconds before people realized that it was just a terrible semi-racist premise that just didn't work out.
Yeah.
But that was like an early 80s instance of that kind of like phenomenon was the Will Vinton California Raisins.
You know, I wish Flo had her own sitcom.
She is hilarious.
She is
I
hilarious.
don't remember her actual name, but I've seen her in other things.
Oh, I've seen her in other things too. No, I'm talking about Flo. I want Flo.
Oh, you want like Flo the character?
I want the Flo sitcom. I do.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh man, what a great gig that is.
Come on, man. Wouldn't you love to? Oh, absolutely. Dude, I can't understand like if you can have a marketing campaign and be the face of that marketing campaign for what? The better part of a decade?
Yeah.
Then you fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like how many companies stick with the same thing for that long?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like are the California Raisins still pushing California Raisins?
No,
they're not.
Nope, they are not.
No, they're not. But now they probably should.
Yeah, they should. But no, I mean, what a like, and she's talented too. Like, she's a really good, funny, like improv character-based comedian.
Well, I mean, and she's got some range. I mean, look at the series of commercials they did where she played like her family members.
Yeah. No, she's got range. Like she's got depth. She's
like,
really good.
And that's the show that I want to see. Flo and Flo's family.
Flo, oh dude,
Flo's family,
like a Mama's Family, but with Flo.
Yes.
Oh man, we are way off the rails on this.
It's
but
like
it's awesome.
It's like Nutty Professor. It's like the Clumps.
Yes.
Flo.
Oh, dude, I'd watch it.
Right?
I'd watch 8 episodes of that.
Yes.
That was
I
for
would.
you.
8 episodes.
Yeah, I'll get to
Hell,
you.
I'd watch 9 episodes. I'm going to up you one, as long as they're a half hour.
Yeah.
22 to 29 minutes.
Oh,
That's all I care about.
That's it.
I would love to see that. Somebody needs to make that happen. Please, somebody make a Flo's
man,
family.
She's good. Like, she did a guest on like the Mr. Show reboot they did on Netflix. She had a couple parts on that.
Was she really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, she's good. She's good. She's a good sketch comedian.
Yeah. Wow, what were we originally talking about? We were talking about the Marvel shows and the
Yes.
Okay, so I was saying that this weekend is a good example of that because of all the people talking about.
Yes.
I'm not just talking
Sabrina
about.
the Teenage
Obviously,
Witch.
I was talking about what Netflix is doing to promote, but I'm talking like there are people out there saying, "Hey, have you watched this? Have you seen this?"
Yes.
So people are out there.
Like,
That's what happens.
The buzz. This is
The
what
buzz.
we call the buzz.
Exactly. So that's one of the things that Netflix has been looking at. Some of the traction on social media, and you know a little bit more about that, so you can speak a little bit to how that works.
Yeah. Basically, like you can tap into keywords and sentiment online. Sentiment is a little harder to gauge via like an algorithm. You can kind of. It usually requires a human, but you get like if you can tap into certain like associative keywords, especially if you have a larger data set. Man, now I sound like the giant nerd here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Push up those glasses.
Push on.
Actually, if you have a larger data set, there's wonderful.
Yeah.
That actually just reminded me of something else we need to talk about.
All right. But once you have like a very, very large data set, and which social media provides you, like, you're into the 2 million, 3 million range, like you can kind of glean emphasis. And what people have noticed from the outside looking in was that people had kind of just stopped giving a shit about Iron Fist and Luke Cage.
Well, they stopped talking about it on social media.
But if that's if that's a metric, then, I mean, if you stop giving a shit about and start talking about it, then what do you have? But I think, I actually disagree with it. I think Netflix has their own reasons for it, and I think we're just trying to concoct something based on something we can kind of see, because they have far more details about you.
That's true.
Than you can even imagine. So you can actually look into your own watching history. They have it accessible for you to see. So you can actually see all the things that you've seen, and you can edit it. They allow you to edit it. So if you want to like remove stuff out of it, totally up to you. I mean, they'll still retain it, but but what I'm saying is they can put if Google can put a profile to you based on what you've searched, they can put a profile based on what you watched and what you're willing to watch in the future and what you might watch. Like when they create shows, like they created House of Cards based on the fact that people really kind of enjoyed watching the old House of Cards on their network.
Everything is analytics, man.
And people liked Kevin Spacey.
But you know what?
You put Kevin Spacey
at that time
in House of Yes, exactly. If you put Kevin Spacey in House of Cards, and you could do it for X amount of money, like you can get the rights to House of Cards pretty cheap. Like Kevin Spacey wasn't like knocking it out of the park. He wasn't like a $50 million a picture movie star. And, you give him a little creative control. You can shop some shit around. Like, that would work.
So basically, Netflix is moneyballing entertainment.
Yes. I don't know.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, Moneyball, Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill, watch it. It's a pretty decent movie. Based on a true story.
Yes.
Very interesting how they use analytics to win championships and field teams and do contracts and stuff. So, yes, I think that's interesting. But it also bothers me a little bit. And I was just talking this the other night with a girlfriend. It bothers me because I get a lot of the Marvel movies and a lot of action movies and a lot of like the stuff that based on what I watch. But there are a lot of things that Netflix doesn't have that I will watch, or that just never come up on my search or my suggestions because they don't have that data.
Right. No,
but then we'll go onto her Netflix and they'll be like, some chick stuff that I watch. Like, I fucking love dance movies, man.
Yeah.
There's no dance movies on my Netflix.
No.
Because Netflix thinks that I wouldn't like dance movies based on what I've watched.
So, what people like you
have watched. Right.
Yes.
But what they don't know about me is I'm a fucking cinephile and I will watch everything.
Right. Exactly. But, and
where can I put that in my fucking
I think
user information.
You know what I think would be interesting is if you were allowed to like influence your own taste just a little by pre-selecting things that you would be interested in.
And that's what I thought that you do when you click like thumbs up or thumbs down.
Right.
But I'm only clicking thumbs up and thumbs down on things that they're showing me.
Right. So it's not a what would you hypothetically be
Right.
interested in. It's what have you seen
Right.
that is making, I completely agree.
Now I bet you could tweak a little bit by if you go, because if you go to search for something and you start to type in a name,
yeah.
it'll give you suggestions based on like the first 3 letters that you've typed in.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are a lot of things that pop up that I've never seen in my search or in my suggestions, but if you went through there and just clicked on it and then hit thumbs up, thumbs down based on, if you're interested or if you've seen it.
But it should be easier than that.
I agree. No, I 100% agree.
It should
100%
be
agree.
easier than that.
I think what would be cool is if they just threw some random shit up at me. Like every so often, like, hey, here's your chance. Rate these 5 titles.
Yeah.
Here's this movie, this movie, this movie, this. Not based on anything.
Yep.
Just give me 5 random
Like
titles.
there should be like an opt-in thing, like
Yes.
like opt me into like just weird shit.
Yeah, opt me in, ask me my opinion every 7 to 10 days.
Yeah.
And just keep it small.
Or pre-subscribe to things like, look, man, I really like old sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Or like I like dance movies.
Right.
Like you're not going to show me dance movies based on the demo and profile that I fit in because
Right.
I'm a giant comic book nerd.
Sure.
But I like it, so I'm going to opt into that. So
Mhm.
you show me those things. Like I will give you that information because I need you to serve me this.
Mhm.
But there's no way to like pre-do that.
Right.
Like, which I think is I mean, I get it. I'm sure you get more engagement, more interaction based on that because you're showing people what you think they want, and they're generally right.
So let me ask you this question.
And and that's the thing you learn about marketing early off is usually you're the outlier to whatever you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
Like we're outliers,
Sure.
complete outliers.
Yeah.
Like I love dance movies too.
Yeah.
I love them a lot.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to show me a fucking. No one's going to look at me
And think that you like
in a
dance
fucking
movies.
Iron Maiden
In your Iron
shirt.
Maiden, in your holy Iron Maiden shirt,
Like
thinking
bald
with a bald
head.
beard.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to be like, oh man, he would really, really like Step It Up 3. Step It Up 3D.
And the fact that you're calling it Step It Up and not just Step Up,
Yeah.
that would be a tell too.
Yeah,
I'd be like, no,
whatever.
he's not interested.
Step
But
Up.
you might be.
Is it Step It Up? I don't know.
It's Step Up.
I've only seen the dance scenes from it because the dance movies are always terrible.
Oh, they're awful acting.
Yeah, it's
They're
fucking
awful
the
acting.
worst.
Yeah.
The worst. But the dancing,
No, dancing's great.
fucking top notch.
Well, that's because they got to get the best dancers.
yeah.
You
And
know,
the
it's kind of like the musicals around here. They're not great acting wise because they have to get the best singers to sing the songs.
yeah,
We know how that works.
you pick one end of the triangle.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll get like 2 legs of the triangle, but it's very rare.
It's not.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Let me go back to what I was going to ask you before.
Mm-hmm.
If they're canceling shows based on social media interactions,
Keep going.
Yep. Does that see? Here's the thing. I would really
Which
love
I
to.
don't think they are, but please continue.
You don't think they are?
No, they're not canceling. That's what I was saying. They're not canceling it based on social media actions. That might play a part into it.
Okay,
but they're
so if-
canceling it based on a lot of fucking different metrics.
Okay, so my question.
And that.
So maybe then you can make better informed decisions. But
That's definitely a metric.
the feed or the buzz around these shows was pretty positive.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people who felt the same way I did about Luke Cage season 2 and Jessica Jones season 2. Like, it wasn't as good as the first season, but I still like the characters. I'm still invested. I'd watch another
But
season.
here's the thing, and you're conflating 2 different variables: positivity and volume. Now, you can look at them like I could say, like, first season comes out, 6 million people say they like it, 4 million people say they don't like it. It's more positive. Season 2 comes out, 3 million people say they like it, 500,000 people say they don't like it. It's better, but less people are talking about it by a lot. So while your positivity rating is through the fucking roof, your engagement rating has fucking halved.
Okay, but then let's look at something like Walking Dead,
Yes.
where we know people are still talking about it.
Just to shit on it.
Sure, but they're still talking about it.
Yes.
And we know that the ratings for that show is declining at a frightening rate.
Because you have the other data set.
Sure.
You can match up people's disengagement and disaffection with it to an actual numbers decline based on what Nielsen determines.
But if people are still talking about it at a high rate, almost the same rate as before, and viewership is declining, what does it say about that metric?
About the viewership declining?
Yeah.
Well, because you and I, let's talk about Transformers. You and I talk a lot of shit about Transformers.
We do.
An active amount
I would
of
even
shit.
say Justice League.
Yeah, or even Justice League.
Sure.
We didn't watch Justice League.
Yep.
But we talked a lot of shit about Justice League.
Right.
So our hatred did not garner itself into dollars.
Okay.
There are some people, hate watching is a viable thing.
Yeah, I know people
And
hate
you
watch
can
stuff.
absolutely, like, I hate watched fucking, oh God, what was that shitty Broadway show? The show about Broadway that they did.
Oh, the one with Catherine McPhee?
Yeah. Whatever the fuck that was. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. But I hate watch that show because that show is fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I would watch it again and again and just to be like, oh, this show is terrible. That's hate watching.
But you like the musical numbers. You like the musical
Yeah,
in
there was
the
something
movie.
that got me-
Smash is the name of the
Smash,
show.
thank you. Yeah, the musical numbers were really good.
Mm-hmm.
But the show was fucking terrible. Like the worst on the planet. But I hate watched it, and that, like my hatred transferred over into ad dollars and people actually watching it. If your hatred does not transfer over into you watching it, then you can have a high hate fucking thing, and if nobody's actually clicking the dial, because I'm old and I used clicking the dial as an actual thing, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what this metric is if this doesn't correlate. And and the thing with Netflix is you only see this metric.
Right.
You don't see any of the other things. So
So-
you're really just guessing.
If you are telling me that the viewership was about the same, maybe a couple of percentage points lower than what the first seasons of Luke Cage and Iron Fist were,
Sure.
and we see the social media decline, it might have stayed, because
Possibly.
I think that your social media presence probably has a bigger weight than the actual viewership.
All right, let's put it this
Because
way.
then you can kind of predict, like, okay, if we come out with a new season, we're hoping that people will share stories, talk about it, say this stuff. But if that's not happening with this season and people are just talking positives, then we're going to lose some money by producing another season.
Remember, you got to take in more than just the positive and negative. You got to take in volume.
Sure.
So let's say Luke Cage's ratings stayed the same.
Okay.
The same, whatever, we'll call it 1 million people watched it. Let's say that never changed. But the sentiment and the volume, and let's say everything stayed the same, but the sentiment turned negative. But people were still like willing to watch it and willing to talk about it.
Okay.
Then what you do is you get new writers and you change the show because everything is still there. Like the numbers exist for you to have a third season,
Right.
and have another go at a third season. And then
Which is kind of what happened in the second season of Iron Fist.
right. Like, but let's not get there. But let's say that's the
Okay.
case, then you could have a strong case for retooling something because people are still going to see what the third season did.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say the numbers, millions still the same, the sentiment turns negative, and you lose half the people actually talking about it. Well, then if it's negative and nobody gives a shit, then do you proceed forward with it? Are enough people going to give it a second chance?
But I'm saying that if the buzz was mostly positive, though.
Well, hold on, but that's what I'm tweaking dials slowly. So you can't You can't tweak more than one at the same time.
I don't know what's funny, your use of tweak or tweaking the dials.
Dude, I'm an old man.
And the hand gestures
I'm
you have. You're actually tweaking
dials. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a child of the 80s. We had dials.
I remember.
So like, but you could only move one of those at once and explain it. So, and then if you move both of those at the same time, then it's done. Obviously, if you have no impact, people are down, numbers are down, you're just shoot it in the head. You're
Sure.
dead. Yeah, that's the end of it. But if it's the numbers are down, but it's still positive, and there's more people talking about it, then what do? That's when it gets a little.
Well, if you're Netflix, you cancel the shows.
But you don't know that.
Sure. But maybe.
Maybe that's what I'm saying, but like you're basically you're guessing without my beer hand
Right.
now, and my beer hand is the Netflix.
No, I got you.
No, I'm explaining to the people at home that I'm doing hand things here.
Yes, you are.
And the hand with my beer in it is what Netflix sees, and my right hand is what everybody else sees.
I mean, based on that though, I'm keeping the show because it's a beer.
It's a beer hand.
Yeah, and to be fair too, like I didn't watch the second season of Iron Fist right away.
Yes,
because I didn't care enough to start with.
Sure.
I heard that it was better.
Yeah,
wasn't great, but it was much better. People enjoyed it.
Yeah,
the fighting was better, and the character was better, and the setup for the Daughters of the Dragon was great.
Yeah.
And
I mean, honestly, I would just watch the show just for that.
Typhoid Mary, the villainess or whoever she is. I like the actress who played her. I like the character because I'm a huge Daredevil fan. But I still didn't watch it just because I was going to get around to it, but I was watching other things.
Sure.
Daredevil, though, I'm chomping at the bit to watch because Daredevil's good, and people talk about how good it is, and I love the second season. And
Vincent D'Onofrio is
Vincent D'Onofrio is great.
Treasure in that.
Yeah, and I really hope that
treasure in that.
Thank you. Yes,
you're welcome.
I really hope that we see him in the cinematic universe.
Oh my God, dude!
Him in a Spider-Man movie would be fantastic.
Perfect. Peter Parker.
Perfect. I would love to. That's not how he sounds.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You're doing too much of the cockroach, dude.
No. It's just You're
doing too much of Edgar.
I've just watched it.
That's true.
Just
That's
watched
very
it.
true. That's right. You're close. You're very close.
Honestly, like his Kingpin voice is a combination of Edgar and God, what's that oil movie? Jesus Christ. The fucking
oil
I drink
movie.
your milkshake.
The oil movie. I have no idea what you're talking about.
God damn it, it's about drilling oil. Hold on, talk for a second.
Oh man, don't do this to me. You can't throw that out there and you can't say oil movie and then be like, talk for a second. What am I going to talk about? Talk about an oil movie? What? I don't know.
Movies. I don't know.
Like,
talk about talking about oil movies.
I don't know. I don't even know any oil movies.
You've never hold on, drink your milkshake. There we go. Drink your milkshake is There Will Be Blood.
Oh, that I don't really think of that as the oil movie though. But I guess
that movie is
I don't know.
Completely and utterly about oil.
Yeah. But still.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but it's a combination of Edgar and the protagonist, antagonist, depending on how you look at him.
True, yeah.
From There Will Be Blood.
Okay.
That is completely the Kingpin voice.
Interesting.
I'm an oil man.
Right. So, I don't know. I guess we'll be telling. Dave's got to get his beers in a row.
There we go.
I guess it'll be telling once we find out what's happening with Jessica Jones and once we find out what's happening.
I think Jessica Jones will be
Daredevil.
the canary in the coal mine for you.
Okay.
Once you what if you see if they cancel Jessica Jones,
but it's not going to do for a while because I think they're already in production on season 3.
Well, they had started production on Luke Cage.
Pre-production.
Yes.
Pre-production is not the same as production.
I understand.
It's not the same at all. I mean, if they're in the middle of shooting and filming, then they're not going to fucking cancel something. Although it's Netflix, they can do whatever they want.
They can. They ate. What did I just saw? They ate 28 million on that Gore Vidal movie that Kevin Spacey was slated to make. Like they ate $28 million. Like, that is delicious. Delicious. No. Yeah. So yeah, they're willing to eat it.
Sure.
And the other thing we're not talking about is what is Disney going to do with their streaming service?
Yeah.
Like, this could have absolutely nothing to do with any metrics whatsoever. It could be a purely fiscal decision based on some behind-the-scenes chicanery that you will never, ever know about.
Yeah, and I think I said this last week. I don't think that these Marvel shows are fit for the Disney streaming service. I think they're a little bit more... I don't think you're going to have a lot of adult content. You're not going to have as hard of adult content as you have on Netflix. And that's fine. And when I say adult, I mean just like, the violence and language and dark corner of the MC universe.
I mean, they are making a Loki series on it.
Yes, but that probably based off of the Marvel movies. Now, I would let any 8-year-old watch a Marvel movie.
Yeah?
I would not let an 8-year-old watch Daredevil.
No, yeah, he does do that thing with the car. It was great.
I would not let an 8-year-old watch... Obviously, I would not let him watch Luke Cage.
Yeah.
I would not let him watch fucking Jessica Jones.
Would you let him watch The Punisher?
Fuck no.
Yes.
But you see my point.
Yes, no, I agree.
You know?
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Watered down Die Hard? All right. I mean, you could blurb some stuff out and get rid of it.
Sure.
You could do... an argument can be made that you could do that with the Netflix Marvel shows, but that's not really like, it's kind of what they're about. They're about being darker. They're about showing you the stuff that you don't normally get to see. That's the appeal.
Yeah. I mean, I hope for them to continue. I hope that this is not I hope for them to continue in the iteration that they currently exist. That's like, I want to leave that there. Whether it's on a different streaming platform or not, I don't give a shit. I really don't. Obviously, I'd prefer it. I lied. I'd prefer it to be on one that I'm currently paying for. But if it isn't, like, I will watch them because they are good. They are good, and if they continue to be that, I will watch that because I enjoy that.
The other thing that will be a good tell is that they do come out with a Heroes for Hire series. That will, tell us everything we need to know about this situation.
Yeah, if they make a Heroes for Hire, like they combine Luke Cage and Danny Rand into one.
And maybe that makes sense if that's a keyword that's coming up in their searches, and people have positive things to say about. You take the positives, or the social media.
Dude, I do like a Daughters of the Dragon and Heroes for Hire show. And
that's what people are saying.
Hard.
Yeah, that's what people are saying. So if you take like the buzz or the amount of people that are talking about Luke Cage and the amount of people of Iron Fist and how much of them are crossover, and does it increase, decrease? Yeah. Maybe you put them together, make their own show.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it happens.
Dude.
We'll find out. We're just speculating. That's what half of the show is. Hey, Dave.
Oh, 1 second. Yes, Matt.
Have you played Red Dead Redemption 2 yet?
No, I haven't.
You need to get on that, sir.
Dude, I don't own a console.
You need to own one.
I'm not going to spend like $500 to play one game, $400 to play one game. How much are consoles now?
Like $300.
$360 to play one game.
Hold on. Let me just Amazon this for you. Or let me just generic name
online
for an online purchasing
thing.
Yes,
whatever.
Portal. You probably more of the...
I'll be an Xbox guy.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say that. I didn't want to say Xbox, though. Like, how far are we going to take this no brand name thing?
I've never taken it very far. I just say the brand.
It's true. 8 well, a 1 terabit console is $483. Oh, wait, here we go. Hold on. There's some here, 500, 400, 290. Okay, Xbox One starter bundle, $299.
$360.
Do it.
For one game.
You'll play more than one game. Who are you trying to kid?
Dude, I'm not about that life. I'm not about that console life anymore.
Jesus Christ. You sound like an old man.
Dude,
let's tweak your dials and fucking play some Intellivision.
I'm Team B. Oh my God, did you see they're coming out with a new Intellivision?
I did. I think you're the one who sent that to me, weren't you?
Holy shit sticks.
Yeah.
I lost my damn mind.
Yeah.
No, dude, I'm like, here's the thing. My PC, and I will say PC, my PC, I get to update occasionally to play games that I want. Like, I don't have to spend $400 every year or every 3 years, plus all the games that are suddenly now useless once I've gone to another system. Like, I still play games that I've had for 9 years. I can still go back and play all the old games that I've ever downloaded. Like, I'm just not into it, man. I'm just not into the console thing anymore. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I haven't spent $60 on a game since I don't remember. Steam sales happen all the time. I can get them for like $30, $20.
Let me ask you this question.
Oh, please.
If you didn't have a console to begin with, you would never have played Red Dead Redemption.
No, I understand that.
And you would never be so hyped about Red Dead Redemption 2.
I completely understand that. And even as good as that game is, and even as addicted I am, and Red Dead Redemption, the original one, is hands down one of my favorite video games ever. Am I willing to spend $400 to play the second one? And the answer is going to be a no. That's a no for me.
Well, according to PC Gamer 7 hours ago, it's possible that there might be a PC version of the game coming.
I've heard rumors, but I haven't heard any confirmation.
Neither have I.
Yes. So, yeah, dude, if it comes out on PC, I'll play it a heartbeat.
Well, I was just kind of curious.
Yeah.
What you thought of that.
And I would actually, I would upgrade my machine to play Red Dead Redemption 2. So the irony is, I would spend $400 to play Red Dead Redemption 2, but I would also use that for other things as well because I would upgrade my entire computer.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, that's fair. So you would spend the money if it benefited something that you could get multiple uses out of,
yes.
But you don't feel like that would be a console.
No.
You know what? I'd say for you, as much as I'm like putting up a stink about this, I think it makes sense for you to not have a console because I know how you get your entertainment. I know how you play your games. I know how you do everything.
It's just
you're either in here in front of these monitors or you're out there in front of that monitor.
Yeah,
and you have other devices that you can stream stuff. So
yes,
fine.
I got you. Yeah, it just I don't need it. There's other people that need it, and I think that's perfectly reasonable. I'm not gonna like besmirch your character for having it, but I just don't give that much of a shit.
I need it.
And that's fine. I think that, and again, that's perfectly reasonable.
I really don't. The only reason, like, I don't need one because I have a smart TV now, and I can get all those apps on my television. I can plug my, I can plug my hard drive and watch everything on my hard drive right into my TV.
Yep.
Don't need it for my thing, but I can play games on it and stuff.
Yeah, no, dude. Like consoles are cool.
Play games and stuff.
Like I'm a big fan of consoles.
Yeah,
I like them, but there's a point where I'm willing to invest money in something.
Sure.
And I've gone a long time. Like, the last one I bought was a 360. Like, I bought an Xbox 360. It was my last console purchase. Like,
well, that was the one before the Xbox One.
Yeah.
So.
And I've given it away.
Oh, you gave it away?
Yeah, I gave it away.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I wasn't about that.
All right. Well, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
I just here's what
like I didn't play it.
Here's what baffles my mind. You were so excited about Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes.
And you were like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to play this game." And now the game's out and you're like, "I don't want a fucking console."
Well, here's the thing.
I liked Red Dead Redemption before it was cool.
No, not even close to that. Like, I'm still excited to play it, and I am jealous of people that get to play it.
Sure.
But I'm an old ass man. Like, I'm not gonna buy into your hype.
I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna stream it. I'm gonna send you the link just to fuck with you.
I respect that. I respect you. I respect you.
I respect you, dog.
I respect you, dog. Honestly, I'm surprised your old ass figured out how to stream.
All right, and on that note, you're a dick. That's it for this week.
Oh,
we'll
you
be back
turn
next
up
week.
this dial?
I also want to remind everybody that Dave is older than me. So, on that note, we will see you next time.
That's true. And I'm also the one that sets up the streaming for this. So enjoy.